Hello everyone. For today's video, it's been a while, thought something would be useful, give you some ideas for anybody out there working with firewood or trying to carry a chainsaw around. I know there's a lot of different ways to take your chainsaw with you on a tractor, and none of them really, they're not for me. So first talk about this carryall. It's a Tractor Supply for your 3-point hitch. I bought it probably 15 years ago. Give you an idea how long it's been. I think it was 99 bucks plus tax. And I've used it quite a bit. Works good. I cut my firewood. Most of it's 20, 21, 22 inches long. Some of it's 16. So I made it deep enough where I can put 2 rows on there. And when I first bought it, I had a Coyote CK30. And when you loaded it up pretty full with split wood or some green rounds, it was pretty close to the limit of the lift of that tractor. About 2.5 years ago, I bought this Kubota L4060, and the lift is not a problem now. It's a bigger tractor. It's a whole different animal. Anyway, show you what I made to carry the chainsaws. I like it. Works good for me. See on top here, there's 2 slots where the bars go in. And this was just scrap lumber after I used treated 5/4 for the back of the carryall. And then some scrap piece of 3/4 plywood. I just made a little channel that they sit in. I don't take them out that often, but you can if you need to. Anyway, back to the chainsaw carrier. That's a 1/2-inch plastic. My son worked for a plastics company that made a lot of different things, but he was able to get some scraps they had periodically and bring them home. And I like it because I could repurpose them. Always find a use for them. Anyway, it's 1/2-inch plastic. It's very hard and very slippery, very slick. All I did was cut a couple strips for spacers in between, and then made it wide enough for my chainsaws. I have a 441 and a 260, 20-inch bar on one, 16 on the other. Big one I use to drop the trees and maybe buck up some of the rounds that are bigger, but just the 260 gets more of the workout for limbing in smaller pieces. And rather than carry them in the bucket and worry about using your bucket and forgetting the chainsaws are there, I decided to make something for the back. I made this years ago, but just got around to make a video. The plastic comes down the back of the carryall. It's protected inside there. Can't bang into it. And when I'm using my saws, rather than set them on the ground, I always make sure I put them back on top of this carryall. And it's just mounted on my forks here to make the video easier to show you. And I made a pocket over here. This is for a tool. Watch the jokes. It's called a pinch-a-log. That's what the company that made it. I know there's a lot of log carriers out there that claim they do all kinds of things. I just wanted something to pick up logs. I don't need a multi-tool. And this carries logs. It'll probably go up to 2 feet or more, but the man that manufactured it, if you look it up on the internet, it just works. It's very simple. I mean, it spreads open. You set one point on the end of the log and set the other point on the other end of the log, and when you pick it up, naturally it squeezes together tighter. And when you get good with it, you can toss them or just keeps you from bending over. Anyway, I made that. I can carry that with me. Since this faces the tractor, it's protected. But I'll go ahead and set those chainsaws in there. Let me set my camera down here. I'll show you what they look like. Again, this was for me. I don't like the ones where I've seen that the bar is the only thing supporting the chainsaw, and you see the guys driving around and the motor's whipping back and not whipping, but it's moving back and forth, and I don't know, it just wasn't for me. Pretty simple, like I said, and repurpose some plastic, some scrap 5/4, cut the slots. Got a couple pieces of angle right here, and actually they were repurposed. They were came off of a bed rail where the beds were replaced, and these were the brackets that held the box spring. So I got a handful of them. I think there's probably a dozen of them. Pieces of bracket, looks like 1/8 inch thick. They already had a 90-degree bend in them, and drilled a couple holes. That supports it. Works really well. So let's go ahead and set the chainsaws in there. You get an idea what they look like. .441 is in there. 260 is in there. You can see they're supported. They're out of the way. And again, this was something I did for me. You might prefer the other items they get to carry or saw around with your tractor, but I can carry these two, not a problem. Works out good for me. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.